Story 4. The monk of Silphira. The village square was quiet that morning, save for the soft, steady voice of the traveling monk. He stood at the center, leaning on his wooden staff, his kind eyes moving over the small crowd that had gathered. His robe was simple, a faded brown that matched the earth beneath his feet. The sun glinted off the silver medallion of Silphira hanging around his neck, and his tone carried a gentle authority that drew people in. The Blackwood's boys sat cross-legged near the front, captivated by his words. Even Ewan, who often scoffed at sermons, found himself listening. "My children," the monk began, his voice calm yet resonant, "Banic is a city of many faces. It is a place where wealth and power can blind the soul, but also where hope can grow, even in the darkest corners. And Silphira's light, her love for all living things, shines there, as it does here." He paused, leaning on his staff as if to draw the crowd closer. The boys leaned forward, listening intently. "In the lower city," the monk continued, "where the poor and the desperate dwell, we are building a great church. A sanctuary, a place where the sick can be tended, where the hungry can be fed, and where the weary can rest without fear. Silphira teaches us that all life is sacred, and that no soul is beyond saving. This church will stand as a beacon of hope for those who have none." Damien, who was cradling one of the family's mastiff pups in his lap, raised his hand timidly. "But isn't the lower city dangerous?" he asked. His voice was small, uncertain. The monk's gaze softened as he looked at Damien. "Yes, my son, the lower city of Banic is harsh, filled with struggle and suffering, but it is also home to the strongest hearts, the most resilient spirits. Those who live there deserve a place where they can find peace. Silphira's light shines brightest in places of greatest darkness." Ewan frowned, his skepticism showing. "If it's so dangerous, why not stay in the countryside? Why not build here?" The monk stepped closer, placing a weathered hand gently on Ewan's shoulder. "Because, my son, Silphira calls us to bring her blessings where they are needed most. But that does not mean the countryside is without her love. Here, among the trees and the fields, you are closer to her blessings than you know. The land provides, the seasons turn, and life flourishes. Do not take that for granted." The monk's words settled over the boys like a soft blanket. George tilted his head to the sky, his expression thoughtful, as though he could see her blessing in the clear blue above. Damien hugged the pup tighter, comforted. But Ego's gaze drifted beyond the square, toward the hills and the horizon, his mind alive with curiosity about the distant city.